Good morning, Achieve Charter School. It is Wednesday, May 20th. Can you believe that? We're already at May 20th. It's hard to believe. Morning, Charles. Morning, Liam and Tyler. Good morning, Mrs. Wright. Good morning, Mrs. Taylor. Good morning, Mrs. Parrott. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Charlotte. Good morning, Mrs. Wright and Gracie and whoever else is there. Jackson, if you happen to be watching, your drone footage was super cool on the second grade virtual field trip. I love that. Hi, Mrs. Etchison. Hi, Eleanor. Hi, Fisher. Good morning, Mrs. Tickle. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Smiths. Good morning, Freda's family. Hey, let's get started with our morning assembly today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about just kind of a couple stories about how I gained some confidence. We're talking about confidence this week and how you can practice confidence and build confidence in others. So let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand at attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And it looks like we've got a birthday today. Ada, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Ada. I hope you have a great day today. Like I said earlier, we've been talking about confidence this week, how you can build confidence, how you can practice confidence. It's definitely a skill that can be practiced. How you could maybe use that for the talent show to be bold and confident and do a great act, and also not be afraid to video yourself doing that act and putting it out there for other people to see. Here's the definition of confidence. Confidence is having faith in something or someone. It's a kind of trust. When you have confidence, you trust that you have what it takes to handle whatever happens. That's when you have self-confidence. You trust that you have whatever it takes to handle whatever happens. You feel sure of yourself and enjoy trying new things. And when you're confident in others, you rely on them and confide in them. And yesterday I kind of talked to you about some different ways to practice confidence. Trying new things, trying hard things, practicing so you have the skills to pull things off. Positive self-talk is a huge one. It can be a positive daily mantra, or it can even just be talking yourself through something like, you got this, you can do it. So I wanted to give you a couple stories about how about how I gained self-confidence. So I love public speaking. I love talking in front of people. I love talking in front of groups. It's awesome. I prefer it in person where I can actually get some feedback from you guys. It's really fun when you're up on stage and the audience is talking back to you and participating and laughing. And it's a little different on Facebook Live because I just have to imagine that you're all having a great time, which goes pretty well for me because if I say something funny right now in my imagination, I just imagine at home you're all just cracking up. So I wasn't like that when I was a kid, though. Like, not at all. I was a really shy kid, and I did not ever want to be the center of attention. I didn't want to be the leader of the team. Definitely didn't want to get up in front of the class and give a speech. And I actually remember a little turning point. So people have asked me before, like, when did that change? When did that shift happen? It mostly happened during high school, actually, like over the course of my 4 years in high school. But I remember the moment that I think it really started happening, which was a speech I had to give in my 8th grade English class. And I remember the speech, and it was one of these speeches where you have to tell how something works, and like step by step tell how something works. And I showed how you'd take apart this ballpoint pen and put it together and how all the parts work. And I remember sitting there in my English class just dreading when my turn would come and hoping that, like, I don't know, I could just put this off. And of course it takes days to get through a whole class of speeches. So probably I'm giving my speech on day 2 or day 3, and I'm sitting there watching this whole time and just taking my pen apart over and over nervously and just dreading this moment that I have to be up there. And then I got up there and I gave the speech, and I don't really remember too much about it. Probably went fine. I probably read exactly what I had on my note cards. But I remember this feeling when I sat back down in my desk, like I survived. Like nothing bad happened at all. And I remember this distinct feeling. Like I didn't feel like I didn't feel great, like, oh yeah, I just nailed that. That was the best speech ever. And like from now on, I'm not going to be afraid. But I remember sitting back down and going like, that wasn't so bad. Like I made it, I did it. Like nothing bad happened. Nobody laughed at me. You know, all these fears that you have. The teacher didn't have anything negative to say. Probably didn't have a whole lot of positive to say either. But it was like an okay speech, and I survived. So like that was a big turning point for me because I realized like I probably don't have to be super scared about this. And then in high school and in college, I had public speaking classes, and that was like part of my major in college. There were multiple classes where you had to actually practice reading in front of people or talking in front of people. It's important if you're going to be a teacher. You have to be able to talk in front of people, and I got to where over time as I practiced those skills that my teachers were giving me, I actually started to enjoy it. So instead of waiting for it to be like last, it was like, when's my turn? When do I get to give my speech? I want to go. I want to give my speech. I want to be up there in front of people. I realized that you get this like excitement when you're up there in front of people. You get the good part of nervous. I sometimes tell students like when they feel nervous about something like a test or getting up in front of people, feeling nervous, not like too nervous to where it's crippling, like not so much that you're having anxiety, but feeling a little bit nervous about something is actually a sign that you care. That's not a bad thing at all. Like that just shows that this is an important thing to you. If you didn't care about your test or your speech or getting in front of people, you wouldn't feel nervous at all. You'd just be like, whatever, I'll just do it. So having that little nervous feeling actually does show that you care, and it makes you feel kind of alive, and it makes you feel definitely energetic. So that's like, as I was thinking about that, like my process for gaining confidence with public speaking came with a lot of practice. But then I thought back to my confidence with riding bikes. So I love riding bikes. That's one of my main hobbies. In 2006, when we hired Mr. Van Rokel at Achieve, he got me into bike riding. And at first, like I was nervous to try some things, especially mountain biking. Like there were things that, I was like going to go real slow. I was afraid I was going to get hurt. And I kind of progressed the same way that I did with public speaking, like through a lot of practice and gaining enough skills and then realizing that like once you get a skill, then you got to try something a little harder. And if you go in those like baby steps, you can pull off a lot of really cool things. Same thing happened with music. Oh my goodness, I remember how nervous I was the first couple times I played music in front of people. One thing that I saw Mrs. Laufer post on here, she said she'd rather sing. Like, not me at all. Like I would way rather not sing. It's only just in the last probably 7 or 8 years that I've tried to push myself into singing in front of people and gaining some confidence in that area. And actually, since I do play music and I do think practice is important, I do think being self-reflective is important, I realized that if I was going to sing in front of people, I better practice and not just like be really, really horrible. And that did help me gain some confidence. So when I had a little bit better skills, I was like, okay, I'm definitely not going to sound like Mrs. Laufer when I sing, or Mrs. Wright or Mr. Alderson. Like that's not going to happen. But I'm gaining some confidence, and I'm also working on my skills so that when I do sing, it sounds okay, right? So that's kind of that's my take on how I've gained some confidence. I'd love to hear some of your stories about things you've done to gain confidence and how you've practiced different things over the years and learned how to build those new skills in your life. And I really want to see your virtual talent show. So get working, start videoing those acts, get them to Mrs. Wright by the end of the week. If you haven't checked out the virtual art exhibit yet, make sure you go online and check that out. It's on our website, achievecharter.org. It's super cool. You'll see some really high quality artwork on there. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.